Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Elder Tosas, and I work for the Lisbon City Council, and I'm honored to be sharing with you the story behind Lisbon City of Learning. So, over the next few minutes, I'll provide an overview of how this endeavor came to be and the concrete steps we took to get it started, the major milestones achieved so far, and our vision for the future. But first, I would like to take you and start by sharing this story that inspired us to start this initiative in the first place. So imagine walking around our beautiful city of Lisbon, and in some neighborhoods, you would find bright light pathways that would guide your steps. And in other words, you would find, darkness that would just obscure the way forward. Our dream is that a diverse group of city and community leaders realized that access to learning was like a bright light, such as the ones in this image, illuminating the path to opportunity and to success. So, and by joining forces, working together with the city leaders, they could light up Lisbon, spreading these beams of light into every corner so that nobody would stay in the dark. That, in a nutshell, is our dream for Lisbon. A city that promotes lifelong learning opportunities and empowers citizens of all ages and backgrounds. So come with me as I take you on our dream, or from our dream to what is now our reality today, and of course to what we want to do in the future. Yeah, so our journey began a few years ago when Lisbon, like cities worldwide, experienced an abrupt shift towards a digital first society. What we came to understand was that while technology expands possibilities, it also divides between who can and who cannot make use of their skills, especially their digital skills. So, this digital divide was disenfranchising many vulnerable groups who lacked the basic digital skills needed to fully participate in this brave new world. Folks like the elderly, the unemployed, the low skilled, and people with disabilities. So, to address this, we initiated conversations with diverse stakeholders. We brought them together, all kinds of stakeholders like learners, educators, community leaders, policymakers, and we asked them, how can we empower all citizens, not just the most prepared, to thrive in the 21st century? In essence, we were asking how can we ensure everyone can develop digital skills and access meaningful learning opportunities. So our key insight from these meetings that happened, for a few years was the need to democratize digital access and break down barriers to opportunity. So, from our perspective, there was a need for a movement in education that would help educators to stop preparing individuals for our current digital society, where the conditions, that are responsible for the digital divide persist. So, instead, we would address all educators to promote collaboration, to promote critical thinking, and to engage learners in changing the very conditions that foster our current status quo. Our ultimate goal would be to empower all citizens to fully exercise their citizenship. And that is our first and core mission, to help all citizens exercise their citizenship, especially their digital citizenship. So for the city administration, establishing a lifelong learning citywide initiative was vital for several reasons. First, because it would be vital to promote digital inclusion and skills development. Also, in supporting vulnerable groups and addressing unemployment. And third, to foster an active citizenship and community participation, especially after the pandemic. It was this rocky period, or this, this period where we didn't know exactly what would happen next. So by taking these goals into consideration, the seeds were planted for Lisbon City of Learning, and we saw it as a project that would be kind of an investment in our most valuable asset as a city, which is our citizens. So by equipping our citizens with these learning opportunities, we were ultimately strengthening the social and the economic fabric of Lisbon. So allow me to walk you through the main steps we took in those early days. First, we conducted an extensive consultation process, and this was really, really important. We pitched this idea of the city of learning to dozens of organizations across sectors, both online and in-person settings. And our goal here was to involve such a diverse group of organizations that it would be a real snapshot of all kinds of learning experience that would take place in the city. So we pitched public organizations like the National Professional Training Institute, the National Museum Government, the National Science Agency, so all these public institutions. But we also talked to dozens of community and third sector organizations that would be mostly involved in, non-formal learning, and also private companies that we found were deeply committed to lifelong learning. So we created this kind of diverse group where public, private companies, and third sector companies like ONGs and community associations were all together, being part of a network that the city council took lead in bringing those partners together, and also, which I find very important, in emphasizing the collaborative spirit of the network. We always presented or pitched it as something that it wasn't exactly, set on stone what it would do, but it was something that would be decided or co-created with all partners involved in the network, so that we were all in it together. So next, we envisioned a digital platform that would be offered to network members and made accessible to all citizens. It would be like an online hub that would allow partners to share innovative learning opportunities widely. And we achieved this by collaborating with Nerihush from Badgecraft, whom we cannot thank enough, and of course by becoming part of the Erasmus Plus Key Action 2 project called 21st Century Skills Recognition for Adults in Cities of Learning. So the initiative made its official debut through a momentous public ceremony held at the City Hall, where the founding organizations came together to celebrate and commemorate their dedication to the mission of the network. During this occasion, a memorandum of understanding was signed, symbolizing a collective commitment and shared vision of the founding organizations. And this was a really important step. We all came together and signed together, the city and all these partners, this memorandum of understanding where we would all share our collective vision for what the network would be. So our focus is not exactly on a digital platform in itself, but it is on a network and in a kind of lifelong learning ecosystem that we are hopefully creating in Lisbon. So this milestone marked a new chapter for lifelong learning in Lisbon and cemented our resolve to collaborate towards the realization of the network's mission, setting the stage for future of high impact learning opportunities in the city, hopefully. So after the creation of the network, we held the inaugural Lisbon City of Learning International Conference, and a conference that was uniting local and international learning specialists and established an exclusive forum for sharing knowledge, fostering collaboration, and advancing capacity building initiatives. We had a great keynote speaker, not sure if you can recognize. And yeah, the conference provided, invaluable learning experiences to partner organizations, empowering them to enhance their practices and to contribute to the broader goals of the network. So it was an event that really fostered a vibrant atmosphere of innovation. It got us started, enthusiastic about the idea of igniting new ideas and inspiring collaborative efforts that would shape the future of learning in Lisbon and beyond. So now I would like to invite you to take a look at what partners have to say. I'll try to share a video, a 1 minute video, a really short video, and let's see if I can succeed in sharing it with you. Think you have image now. I'll just start and play the video, do the playback.
The principles behind Lisboa Cidade de Aprendizagem are access to learning for all. It is about sharing information, sharing knowledge, networking, establishing partnerships, and growing together.
The network helps us reach a wider audience, incites us to think out of the box. To test different products, different methodologies is something that is also very interesting to our organization. We value the opportunity of collaborating with other institutions that are also committed to the same goals.
We can identify several advantages for participating organizations, like sharing resources with other partners and learning together how to better serve clients and beneficiaries.
There you go. So it was really a great moment to get everybody on board. These testimonials are from partners that were just starting out in the network. And we had this conference where, everybody was really feeling excited for the idea of jumpstarting Lisbon City of Learning. So after that, fast forward to today, we have some pride, some of our proudest milestones that we would like to share with you all. The first is that we built this vibrant, this inclusive network of over 50 public, private, and third sector organizations that are now united behind a common mission focused on diversity and innovation. It's interesting for us because we didn't have any kind of expectation. We didn't know exactly how many organizations would like to start this with us, this movement of lifelong learning. And it was really incredible how we could join so many diverse organizations with us. Every time we do a meetup, we do periodic and frequent meetups with partners. It's really interesting how in the same room, we have people that speak very different learning language, so to speak. Some of them are people that, work mainly in non-formal learning space. Some people work mainly with youth, some people with adults, some people are specialized on formal learning and certification and so on. So bringing them out, some are museums, some are schools, some are libraries, some are science foundations. So it's really interesting how to put everyone, in a dialogue together. It's really something that it's kind of a collateral gain from the network, and we're really proud of it from having achieved it so far. So our second milestone would be the hundreds of innovative learning opportunities that we have developed so far. We go on 200 and something right now, and that have been made accessible to on the platform to the citizens. Let me remind you, though, that we are still on soft opening mode. We haven't yet made any kind of advertisement of the initiative or the network or the platform. So we have started, we have published several activities, but we have not exactly made it completely available, or not exactly available, but completely known to the main audience or main public. And still we have like 1,400 open badges issued from this project and the projects that we were carrying on to this platform from previous iterations. And they recognize diverse skills. And they are also inside, they are also part of several learning playlists that were created and tailored to individual passions and goals, which is something that we really value and cherish too. Most importantly, we have over 600 citizens served already, gaining access to these important and diverse learning opportunities and having access to opportunities that will help them succeed both in their personal and professional careers and life. So as you can tell, we couldn't be more excited. Remember the dream we share with you, and we feel that this dream is fast becoming a reality, which is something that we value a lot and hopefully will be even better, not exactly for partners or the network itself, but for our audiences and for citizens in general to take advantage of it. So the important question right now, I think, would be what's next for us? What exactly will happen afterwards? In the coming months, we aim to formally launch the platform citywide. So not in the coming months exactly, we will formally launch the platform in a few weeks, in 3 weeks exactly, in the end of November. And we're hoping to make a big momentous to start a big and momentous movement right there with lots of citizens using and visiting the platform and trying to understand if it's helpful for them and hopefully finding great learning opportunities to succeed. We're also interested in, of course, having more partners on board. We haven't closed the network, not by a long shot. We are really open arms to all organizations that still don't know about us and would like to be part of it. So we're still on the onboarding process. We have 20 organizations to whom we are speaking in speaking terms right now, pitching the idea and trying to see if they're interested in becoming part of our of this network. And another action we would like to move forward would be to develop target initiatives to engage vulnerable groups. So we are at the moment now where with some partners know each other well and can really start to think how can we do like this thematic initiatives and thematic highlighted learning opportunities on the platform specific to vulnerable groups or specific to people in need, so that we would be addressing those needs more carefully and surgically. We also would love, of course, to continue to engage in conversations with other cities and regions worldwide that might want to know more about our model, but also share their own achievements and insights. We would love that. And our final goal would be to host our second international conference, which will be focused on equity in lifelong learning and will tentatively happen in May 2024, honoring our first international conference where we had great guests with us that we hope to meet again next year, and to which, of course, you are all invited to be part of. So all in all, we sincerely hope to inspire this movement in Lisbon and also other cities, of course, where learning is lifelong, life-wide, and accessible to all. So if you would allow us, we would now share with you some tips, a few tips that we have come up with for individuals, for institutions, for public authorities interested in working with a diverse lifelong learning network like ours. Our first tip would be to create a collaborative ecosystem focused on diversity. This diversity would ensure a range of learning opportunities that meet the needs of different learners, all learners, if we can manage that, and support, of course, inclusiveness. That's a great goal to achieve, and that's a great tip that to us would be foremost, one of the foremost and most important. Our second would be breaking down barriers of access and opportunity. By making inclusive access a priority, we in Lisbon City of Learning have adopted a mission to reduce barriers so all citizens can access learning. And we think that this would be really a great mission also to adopt by other cities and other movements that would be interested in achieving City of Learning too. Our third tip would be to, by using the digital platform, by using open badges, and also by giving training to partners. We feel it's very important to hold this value closely, that our partners need our support throughout all the way. Through that, we are certainly promoting engaging and compelling learning experiences. So innovation is really important too. Our fourth tip would be to empower individual agency. And by this, we mean that with a platform like the one from Batchcraft, the Cities of Learning platform, citizens can explore passions and chart their own learning journeys, which motivates and empower learners. So an individual agency is really important, and it comes really easily with the Lisbon City of Learning digital hub. And lastly, our last two tips would be, of course, always celebrate partners, celebrate collaboration and co-creation, because once we foster co-creation and once we support partners to develop their, customized playlists for learners, we are inviting them to join forces, to work together, to learn from each other, to achieve more together in terms of their own missions and what they can benefit the individual learners. So celebrating every step of the way, but also celebrating partnership, it's really a focal point to us. And our last tip, which is one of the most important and dearest to our hearts, would be to always think about having, if possible, of course, leadership guided by public interest. And we do this, we have embraced this objective or goal for us by coordinating the network, funding all training for all partners, supporting partners throughout all the way in whatever way possible, so that we could guarantee our network focus on public interest, on our citizens, on our vulnerable folks, on everyone in need, but even if not in need, everyone that would benefit, from the network and its opportunities. And this coordination for us, it safeguards equity, it safeguards inclusion, and it also spurs collaboration. So this would be our 6 tips moving forward to a diverse network, City of Learning network, as we envisioned it, of course. In closing, I am incredibly proud of what we've built together, of what our team, Lisbon City of Council, our partners have built together. And I believe the future is bright for learners in Lisbon, because of course, by empowering people of all ages, of all backgrounds to embrace learning, Lisbon City of Learning will for sure transform the fabric of our vibrant city. And also with initiatives like this Thriving Worldwide, thanks to the vision of Nerihus and the Batchcraft and these international projects we are all part of, the possibilities are really boundless for how we can work together, how we can work collectively to unlock human potential. So thank you for letting me share with you the Lisbon City of Learning story today. Of course, I welcome your questions and look forward to exchange ideas and keep innovating with you all together. So thank you so much.